"Sir, are you sure you're not lost?" Emily asked softly, clutching her handbag as she stepped into the sleek black sedan idling in front of the company building. She was running late for a corporate dinner that could decide her career. And the driver, an older man with salt and pepper hair and calm brown eyes, had shown up exactly on time. "No. Ma'am," he said with a polite nod, opening the door for her. "I'm here for you. You can call me Ben." Emily smiled faintly. "Thank you, Ben. You're the only thing going right today." She slid into the back seat, exhausted. Her heels pinched, her heart raced, and her mind swirled with the usual worries. Her 5-year-old son, the bills, the judgmental co-workers who whispered behind her back about being a single mom working 2 jobs. Ben glanced at her through the rearview mirror as he merged into traffic. "Rough day?" She gave a dry laugh. "That obvious?" He smiled kindly. "I've driven a lot of people. The ones who stare out the window in silence usually have the heaviest stories." Emily studied him curiously. His posture was straight, his tone calm, too calm for a regular driver. His clothes were simple but pressed, and his watch looked expensive. But his eyes, that was what disarmed her. They weren't the eyes of someone who looked down on people. They were gentle. If stories like this remind you that kindness and humility can change lives, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep sharing stories that touch hearts and open minds. The car moved smoothly through the city lights. She sighed. "I'm trying to keep my job, you know? The new CEO started this week. Everyone's terrified. They say he's rich, ruthless, and impossible to impress." Ben raised an eyebrow slightly. "You haven't met him?" She shook her head. "No, and I hope I never have to. People like that don't notice people like me." He smiled faintly, almost wistfully. "You might be surprised." When they arrived at the restaurant, she turned to him before stepping out. "Thank you, Ben. I can't afford a tip tonight, but I'll pay you back next time." He waved his hand gently. "Don't worry about that. Just focus on being yourself." Something about his words lingered with her all night. A week later, the company buzzed with rumors. The CEO, Benjamin Carter, was planning a surprise inspection at every department to get to know his employees personally. Emily tried not to care. She had enough on her plate. Her son had fallen sick, and the babysitter had canceled again. That Friday morning, she showed up late, hair damp from the rain, carrying her little boy on her hip. "I'm so sorry," she told the receptionist. "I had no choice. He'll stay quietly in the office corner, I promise." Her supervisor rolled her eyes. "You're lucky I don't send you home." Emily bit her tongue, setting her son down with crayons. She threw herself into work, hoping no one important noticed the tiny sneakers under her desk. Then, around noon, the office went silent. The elevator doors opened, and in walked the CEO. Emily froze. Her heart stuttered. It was him, the driver. Benjamin Carter. Every eye in the room followed him as he strolled in, wearing a charcoal gray suit that looked like it belonged in a magazine. His calm brown eyes scanned the team before landing on her. "Good afternoon," he said warmly. "I've been looking forward to meeting all of you." Emily felt her face burn. She wanted to disappear. He walked closer, stopping near her desk. "Ms. Rivera, isn't it?" She swallowed hard. "Yes, sir," he smiled softly. "Your dedication doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate the way you handle things, even when life doesn't make it easy." A few employees exchanged confused glances. How did he know her? Benjamin continued, his tone light but meaningful. "You see, I like to understand the kind of people who make this company run. So I spent some time behind the wheel." Gasps filled the room. Emily's jaw dropped. He turned to her, his expression kind but steady. "You didn't treat me like a nobody. You talked to me like a person. That says a lot more about your character than any resume ever could." She blinked rapidly, fighting tears. "Sir, I didn't know," he chuckled softly. "That's the point." "You didn't have to." Later that day, he called her into his office. It was vast yet simple, with a panoramic view of the city. Benjamin gestured toward a chair. "Sit, Emily," she hesitated. "I really am sorry if I said anything rude that night." He shook his head. "You didn't. You were honest. You were kind. That's rare in my world." He paused, leaning back. Do you always carry the world on your shoulders like that? She smiled shyly. Single mom life. There's no other way. He studied her for a moment. You know, when I pretended to be a driver, I wanted to see how people treated those who couldn't help them. You were the only one who looked me in the eye. Her throat tightened. Most people just look away. I guess I know what that feels like. He nodded slowly. Then maybe you're exactly the kind of person I need in management. Emily's eyes widened. What? He smiled. You care. That's leadership. In the months that followed, she rose quickly, not because of favoritism, but because she worked harder than anyone. Benjamin respected her for her integrity, and she respected him for his humility. But what surprised them both was the quiet friendship that formed between them. Late evenings working together, shared laughter over coffee, small moments of comfort after long days. Her son adored him too. One afternoon in the park, the boy ran up to Benjamin, tugging on his sleeve. Are you my mommy's boss? Benjamin laughed softly. Something like that. The little boy grinned. Then can you tell her not to work so hard? Emily blushed, sitting on a bench nearby. He's getting bold, Benjamin smiled. He's honest, like his mother. As the sun dipped low, golden light spilling across the park, she looked at him. This man who'd once been a stranger behind the wheel, now the person who'd changed her life. Ben, she said quietly, why did you do it? Pretend to be a driver? He looked out at the sunset. Because I was tired of being treated like a title instead of a man. I wanted to remember what real people look like. He turned back to her. And I found one. Their eyes met, and for a long moment neither spoke. The air was warm, full of unspoken truth, two people who'd seen each other for who they truly were. Sometimes love doesn't arrive in grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes it begins with a simple act of kindness, when one person decides to see another's heart before their status. And as the evening breeze rustled through the trees, Emily smiled. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as an employee, not as a single mom, but as someone who mattered.